Shalom Chavrim, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live this evening, friends. We just got internet back up here over in Prague, Czech Republic. And of course, it's already late night, and we're looking at some of the things that are going on over in Syria, Afrin in particular. And the fighting certainly has intensified. And one thing that's troubling is just some of the evils that the Turkish government has been doing to the soldiers there in Afrin. They are gaining some heavy ground there, but one of the more troubling spots here is a video here, this one right here. I'm not going to show the entire thing. They've captured, let me just pause it just for a moment here. They've captured two women soldiers, two Kurdish women. And the one you see at the top of your screen right here, they're going to shove her off the top of the rocks here and then just fill her with machine gun fire. The other girl right here, they will take and shoot her in the back of the head. I will not let that be seen. But the other girl, you don't see her being shot, so I'll go ahead and let this play here just to show you how evil. There they knock her down. Now you can see the gunfire going off. See the bullets being fired. Oh, sorry about that. But it is very, very disturbing what we see there. I just wanted to get past what happens there. It's just unimaginable how evil Erdogan is, the president of Turkey. And then to think the United States is backing this man, and no one is saying nothing about it. Even the UN, we had here, Afrin administration accuses UN of legitimizing Turkey's offensive, demands implementation of the UNSC resolution. I can remember back, I guess it was 2 years ago when we were in Switzerland, when they were first trying to bring a ceasefire, and we were actually in Geneva there at the United Nations, and the Kurds were not allowed to have a representative there. And I thought that was rather odd. The representative for the Kurdish people had came, but he was not allowed to be a part of what was going on. And so it's very, very troubling, the things we're seeing. And, and the world is silent. I mean, where is President Trump on this issue? At one time, President Trump seemed to be really standing strong with the Kurdish people. And then once Secretary of State Tillerson went over and met with Erdogan's, his representative there in the Turkish country, they completely changed face, completely made an about face and said, oh, we forgot, we got a great relationship with Turkey here. We got to keep that relationship strong. And the Kurds were once again thrown under the bus. Very sad indeed. No one seems to come to their aid, not the United States, not Russia. Russia just as bad, allowing the Turkish government just to mutilate these people here. I'm just really ashamed of both countries. I thought this was a rather nice picture, though, here. The Kurdish women here in Afrin, every one of them, just regular civilians, all taking up AK-47s and going to the street there, letting the people know they're going to fight to the death. They're going to defend the country. Now, what really kind of brought, whoops, sorry about that. I didn't want you to see that either. It's very sad. Kurdish boy kissing his sister goodbye after she was killed by the Turkish forces there. And it's sad. And the world just loves to show these type images here when it comes to civilian casualties, especially like in the case of East Ghouta or back over a year ago with Aleppo. But they fail to want to tell you that the civilians were being killed as a result of being held prisoner by the jihadists that NATO has been backing. And I want to say NATO, it's really not just right to throw the American people under the bus for this, because the American people, if they knew really what was going on in Syria and why this is all happening, I think maybe there would be a true outcry. But unfortunately, the American people are not being told the truth. They're being overwhelmed with the propaganda. And as a result, the people are just being slaughtered. And there was also, I think on RT, they did a report here, East Ghouta attack. militant attacks a civilian convoy of 300 families at three cars burnt, according to the Russian MOD there. This is going on continually. It's almost as if NATO wants to body count, but they're hoping to make sure that they can blame it on Russia and Syria. And I'm sure they have their fair share of people getting killed from what they do. I'm not saying they don't. But many times it's because the people are held against their will and cannot flee the fighting. Because they want the body count, and these white helmets they call them heroes. No, they're not heroes. Yeah, they risk their life for one thing, for propaganda. Very, very sad to see all of this, guys. We're gonna get things rolling here starting tomorrow. Now that we have the internet up, here it is. I'm just now getting on here at 12:30 at night. It's probably about 6:30 your time when I'm actually making the video here. We're going to get our live stream going on pretty good. We got in a message with live stream why people were not able to see the rest of the video there. And I do want to say, as far as President Trump, he started off good. I see that he's kind of backtracked on several of the promises that he has made. He has really turned against Syria now. But is it because he's being fed all of the propaganda by the deep state? I really see a struggle for power in the United States. When I read some of the things I was sharing with you guys in these special reports, if you noticed as well as I did, especially reading the lengthy report of Seymour Hersh, his insights were very interesting because it showed a division amongst commanders in the American government. Even a difference between CIA and certain military officers. There's definitely a division in the United States here. So that actually gives me some hope for America, that America could be took back. But you know what? The only way it's ever going to happen is we've got to be willing to stand up there, tell the truth, what's going on in the world, forget the propaganda, tell the people the truth about what's happening in the Middle East there, to where that will put pressure on President Trump to stand up against the deep state. But if he's part of the deep state, okay, then there's nothing I can say that would help that. All right. But I'm just, but I want to believe that he's not. I want to believe because I see him try to work with President Putin. But now we're on like a suicide course right now. And, you can't say that this is just Russian propaganda to say this, because, guys, we had General Wesley Clark come out and tell us these things back before even the attack on Iraq. Or maybe he said it after the attack on Iraq, but he does come out and say, spill the beans, blow the whistle, whatever you want to call it. General Wesley Clark told the American public that the United States was taking down 7 nations. Did he miss something? Is there something we're missing, friends? I know the propaganda makes it look like it was somebody else that started the fight, but I hate to tell you, that's just not the case. Very troubling. Also, too, roaring cannons, massive U.S.-led artillery drills kick off in Europe. That's another big issue happening right now. The Army has started a massive artillery exercise involving thousands of troops from NATO nations. And as the article goes on to say here, as well as heavy howitzers, multiple launch rocket systems, and mortars. Some 3,700 troops from 26 NATO members, including the U.S., UK, France, and Germany, have arrived in Grafenwolf range in Germany, along with their heavy weapons. All right, now one thing I've got to remind you guys of too, Germany has been chosen to be the lead nation for this new rapid response EU military. Kind of reminds you of the days of the Nazi Empire, doesn't it? And I have to tell you too, friends, I mean, there's a lot of good German people. And just like there was even during the World War II when Hitler was killing all the Jews, and not just Jews, but other groups as well, there were good people then as well that risked their lives to save those that were being targeted at the peril of their own lives. So it's not anything against the German people. Just like in America, most Americans would never go along with what's happening in Syria if they really knew the truth of it in the first place. I'm Stephen Benoon. You're watching Israeli News Live, friends. let's do something about this. Let's get the word out there. We're going to get this thing rolling. We'll get our screen up on the wall here tomorrow, so we can work with you and show you everything and try to make some sense of things that's going on in the world. Also, our live stream. Don't forget, if you watch us on live stream, I think we're going to try to actually live stream while we're recording our YouTube, and then eventually we're going to actually run them both live, and maybe you get to start that tomorrow. I'm Stephen Benoon. You're watching Israeli News Live, Erev Tov.